Stop worrying so much about the world, about other people, because nobody gives a shit. So I truly hope that the message I'm sharing inspires and motivates you to improve your life. Now let's get to the point. Welcome to another episode of ToDaPointPodcast. So lately I've been wondering a lot why so many people tend to hold themselves back from following their heart or their passion, as they say. So if you're in the situation right now, ask yourself, what is it that makes you ignore your calling? And the reason for this question is because you know damn well what your deepest desires are and what it is that you want to do, but for some reason you find time to do everything but the thing you want most. But you're not alone. I struggle with this from time to time too. And for me, it was the fear of being different, the fear of being judged by others, and also this limiting belief that I don't know enough to be talking about it on camera. So I always found a way to procrastinate and keep myself busy, and using that as an excuse for why I couldn't create or upload content. But all I know is that the moment I started uploading again and being creative, working on new content, the fear that I was experiencing significantly decreased. And sometimes the doubts still come up, but it is nothing compared to standing on the sidelines and wishing I would have started. So what got me motivated was me being sick and tired of my own BS excuses, and I was tired of living with this nagging feeling, this voice telling me to do what I know I should be doing. And I truly believe that our higher self, or the universe, whatever you want to call it, has a way of communicating with us. And it usually starts off as a whisper, telling you this is what you should be doing. And if you choose to ignore it due to fear, insecurities, or whatever, I believe that that whisper at a certain point starts becoming louder. And it does this to push you to do what it is that you want to do. And if you choose not to do it, you will always have to live with this nagging feeling. But back to my previous point, why does it even matter if you're being judged by other people? Thing is, what anybody thinks of you is just an opinion, meaning it's not necessarily based on facts or knowledge. So whether we choose to do something or not to do something, people will always have something to say, and that's even if they care at all. See, lots of times we get paralyzed by fear of being judged, fear of not belonging. But the funny thing is that usually people don't even give a damn. And I'm not saying this to be negative, but I'm saying this to make you aware of the fact that everybody goes through their own lives, their own struggles, and usually they don't even have time to focus on what we're doing. It's nothing personal, that's just how it is. Think back of a time where you were going through hard times and you didn't have the energy to focus on what other people are doing, but you were focusing on your own struggles. And it doesn't mean that you didn't care about the other person, but that your focus was somewhere else. So once you realize that people always having eyes on you is not correct, you realize how liberating that is, because you can say that nobody's really watching you, and it gives you the freedom and the power to do whatever you want and to be whoever you want to be. Now, I'm not saying to do things that you will be ashamed of later, but think about this. Right now, you can decide to be whoever you want to be and do whatever you want to do. You are literally one decision away from a totally different outcome, a different life. So if you want something different, you have to do something different. Eventually, it all comes down to your own happiness. You will always have you. Now, I'm not saying to do anything inconsiderate and to hurt other people. But if what you're doing is making you happy and is morally acceptable, just freaking do it. So for example, let's say starting a YouTube channel. There are lots of people creating content, and there are also a lot of people who don't create content. Maybe due to the fear of being judged or other insecurities. When you stop caring about what other people think, you experience so much freedom. I really believe that people don't realize the power they have to become whoever they want to be. So lately I became aware of this, and I started realizing that the fear we experience, or let's say I experience, is only in my head. And sometimes it can feel really real, but it's actually not. What's the worst thing that can happen if someone says something negative about you? Yeah, it might hurt a little bit, but at the same time, it's just an opinion. And their opinion only has the power if you believe that what they're saying is true. On the other hand, if you choose not to believe it, you have nothing to worry about. And besides that, people who are working on becoming a better version of themselves or working on a business and trying to be successful don't have time to be a keyboard warrior or whatever and criticize other people. They're too busy being happy, they're too busy focused on their own goals, and actually motivate other people to also become a better version of themselves. Usually, people who criticize other people are being triggered by something you're doing and that they wish they would have the courage to do. Don't get discouraged by negativity from other people. We always have a choice to actually ignore that and keep focusing on what it is that we want to do. As a matter of fact, it should motivate you to keep going. Because I read this somewhere and someone said that if you don't have enemies or people being negative or hating on you, that means that what you're doing is not big enough. And ask yourself, wouldn't you rather, like 10 years from now, 5 to 10 years from now, look back and be happy that you tried something than looking back and wish you tried something and always wondering what could have happened? And consider this, chances are that you are a nobody.
Thank you.
No offense. I don't mean this in a negative way, but really, if you don't have fame yet or you're not famous, you have all the freedom in the world to experiment with whatever it is that you want because you don't have so many eyes on you. So embrace the freedom of being able to experiment and find what it is that you really want to do. And appreciate the fact that you can make mistakes without looking like a fool in front of a million people. So the point of this video, stop worrying so much about the world, about other people, because nobody gives a shit, at least not as much as you think. So decide who you want to be, what life you want to live, and do anything and everything in your power to achieve that. There's nothing wrong with thinking about the bigger picture, and for most people that can be very intimidating. So take it one step at a time. You see, the only two things standing in your way to reach your goal are you and the actions you take and don't take to get there. You have to give yourself permission to achieve greatness. So that was the video for today. If you found value, please like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment in the comment section and tell me what fear you're struggling with that is holding you back from working on your goals. See you in the next one.